What is going on, stream? Let's see if we got it up here. What is going on? What is going on? Let's make sure that we are, in fact, streaming. Looks like we are. Let me check my YouTube real quick. Make sure we're good to go. And then I'm going to start by checking the news. I'm so out of breath and I'm burning up. I just got done painting the roof of my truck, and that was a lot of work. That was a ton of work. I am burning up. Let's see. I can hear the AC behind me. It's cranked up, but man, it just doesn't feel like it's enough. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me mute this tab real quick. Mute tab, and then I have a chat right there. Okay, perfect. All right, sweet. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the news real quick and see what's going on. I want to see what today has got cooking real quick. I do need to do some work on this setup here. I got one bug I got to fix, but that's okay. Analyzing the news sources. Yeah, I want to drink coffee, but like I said, I am burning up, and so I don't know if I will drink coffee that much right now. This usually takes like 30 seconds, so bear with me. There's really nothing else for me to check right now. I do need to turn this off, though. 1 second. This is like my teleprompter thing, and it's kind of buggy. Oh, there we go. There's our news. Let's turn that off. All right. Okay, so Asana acquires no-code agent builder stack AI, signaling constellation, and visual AI tools. But really, Asana, I don't really see them being that. I don't know. Maybe they're bigger than I think, but they just bought Stack AI, a no-code platform for building AI agents and workflows. I've never heard of Stack AI. This matters because it shows the market's moving fast towards embedding AI agents directly into project management. I could see that for sure. If you're building automations for service businesses, okay, that's just my AI giving me service business related info. NADM published a guide on making AI agents more reliable. OpenAI releases Agent SDK build hour. Not really applicable. Anthropic drops Opus 4.8 with dynamic workflow tool. Whoa, now that's a big one. And then the last one's OpenAI shows self-improving tax agents built with code. That's kind of crazy too. Okay, let's pull this up and see what it says. Anthropic releases Opus 4.8 with new dynamic workflow tool. I'm gonna have to jump on top of this. This is the first time hearing it. On Thursday, oh, we're behind. The newest version of the most advanced publicly available model with standard pricing, blah, blah, blah. The new model comes just 41 days after Opus 4.7. Opus 4.7, by the way, is really, really good. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it. And I use it on the max mode. The output is like, it's unmatched. Let's see, I'm sorry, I'm burning up. That interval has also been significant new releases for OpenAI Codex, Gemini Flash model, okay. Skimming through the rest of this to see what's going on. The system is designed to help larger models. Got it. We get it. Okay, so it's a short read. Okay, so, I mean, Opus 4.8 is coming out. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, all right. What do we want to talk about today? Yesterday, we talked about making infographics for customers for, like, pamphlets to hand them. We could do something similar to that. We could work on thumbnails. I know I've had a lot of people ask me about thumbnails, how I get thumbnails made. They're not too tricky. But let's see. Where was the one we had for yesterday? It was this one. Yeah, we were able to make this in Notebook LM for free, by the way. It didn't cost anything. And this one, I think my favorite one, though, was... I think it was this one. It was one of these. No, it wasn't that one. It was this one. The second to last one we made. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was this one. This was my favorite one because it showed the people and they're smiling. I think that's really important. But yeah, we were able to make this for free. And then we based this off of a pest control company here in Arizona to make this from. So it's pretty cool that we were able to do that. So if you have any questions or you want to see how I build something like that, I'm trying to think of something that would be really useful right now off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm burning up. And the AC is working overtime because it is hot today. What could we go over? Let's go over how to extract. Do you want to do a brand guide? Let's just look up pest control companies. Something will hit me in the head that's really useful, because I don't want to just show you something that's just like a party trick that's not really useful. That was the one we worked on yesterday, was the Workman one. We just used that for a demo. Let's see. I just freaked out for a second. I was like, I hope I'm not showing my home address. That'd be bad. I can't imagine the amount of things that have stripped up or slipped up on live stream. Moxie. I'm looking for something that has a unique color to it. That one kind of does a little bit. Quell. You know, I mean, they look like a great company, but my only thing against using blues, it reminds me of a pool company, right? Like if I see that blue going by and I didn't read it, I would say that's a pool truck. So, oh, and I think I've seen something about these guys. I think these guys are crushing it, though. What do I know? Okay, so we have like a blue and green. That's a little bit different, so that's cool. All right, so what we could do is if we want to extract like the brand guide, like if you're like, I don't know how to make a brand guide for all of my stuff, you can just go to Notebook LM for free. I have the paid version because it's bundled up with Google's thing, but it's only like $20 a month. It's not very expensive. And then we can just go to here, and then we can pull this in here, and I can make a prompt. I want you to make a comprehensive and exhaustive brand guide and style guideline from this website, please. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Notebook LM, you have your sources on the left, and this is where the AI pulls from. And then in the middle, you have your chat, and this is where you can talk with those sources. It generally doesn't pull anything from the internet. I have heard sometimes it can bleed through a little bit, but it's not very much. It's pretty accurate. Okay, so brand name, primary positioning, local eco-friendly pest control experts. Oops, sorry, you might hear a little screech. That sucks. Core philosophy, commitment to accessibility. Okay. Core messaging, keeping your pest free with targeted solutions. Let's see if that's what they say. Yep, there, it says it right there. So I mean, it pulls all the information from the website. It has the phone numbers, license number too. Okay, I want to make sure and do this again, but include the colors too, and be exhaustive and be comprehensive. Pro tip, if you're doing this stuff, say comprehensive and exhaustive because it tends to get a better output. That's my pro tip for today. I've had a lot of success. I would say actually more luck with AI using those two words. Okay. All right, and the best part's coming up too. So let's see. Primary physical locations. Oh, they're in Florida too. Two in Florida and Texas. Nice. Primary slogan. Where is the... I'm not seeing the colors. We have to tell it one more time. I'm just going to say include color codes. Let's see what it does with that. Okay, I'm cooling off enough to drink this coffee. I made the mistake of I'm painting my roof black on my truck, and then the outside is going to be a blue color. And the black is so hot. It didn't even click in my head for some reason. But I must confirm absolutely no color code. Oh, okay, that's fine. I just have to clarify for the AI. Okay, so make the comprehensive brand and style guideline like you did again, but go into the website and find the colors for the business and extract those and then put that into the brand guideline and style guideline, please. Be comprehensive and be exhaustive. Okay, we'll just send that off and wait for it to come back. So it's pretty easy. You could probably do this in Gemini too, but Gemini is powered by Google. It's the same thing. But with this, what's cool is that you can create a whole bunch of goodies, infographics. I think the infographics and the slide decks are the two biggest ones. If I'm trying to learn something from somebody, I will upload their content and then go to quiz mode, which is fantastic. Okay. Really, it's not including the color code, and I had no problem doing this yesterday on the live stream, so that's fine. So what we can just do is let's just do this because it's not that serious. We can just go and we can copy the color code and then paste that there. And I can just say that this is the primary color code, and then the secondary one is this one. So we're just going to upload that as well and just say secondary. Okay, and then that should put that into that brand style guideline. This is taking longer than I want it to be. Honestly, I'm actually getting kind of impatient with that a little bit, but that's okay. I think sometimes AI makes me a little lazy in ways to where it's like, I can't believe I had to actually do something. It should have done it for me. But that's just changing with the times. All right, so sweet. So now we have this. What we can do is we can take this right here and we can copy all of this and then go over to the notes section and then create a new note and then just paste this here. Okay, I'm gonna have to copy right here, paste this right here, and then I can get rid of this and then I can just call this brand style guideline. Okay, and the reason why we're doing this is because I can take this right here and then, oh, actually, I want to make one more adjustment. I want to get rid of the rest of that URL because we don't need, this is the source of where we came from, which is Google. We don't need that. We can just go right here and put in the website, just like that, just so we know that it's attached to this. Okay, so now you can take this and you can convert this to a source. So when you convert it to a source, it's now in the left-hand side. So now it's going to pull from the website and it's going to have all the brand and style guidelines. So if I clear the chat, by the way, if you're working in this and you keep filling up the chat, the previous messages are going to have influence on the next things that you do. So just clear the chat and it doesn't delete anything that you've done. Everything stays baked in, which is really nice. It turns this thing into a machine essentially. And then we could just do, we could do anything. What do I want to do? I don't want to do educational piece. Actually, if I go to pain points, we'll just do this. I can look up the pain points and I can say physical discomfort bikes. Okay, so let's say this. I want you to make me an infographic that is digging into the pain point of the customer about if they get bit by bugs, how annoying and unhealthy it is, and that it requires proper treatment, right? And so I want you to have create the problem on the left-hand side of the infographic and then the solution, which would be the CTA for my company. And then turn that into an infographic. Okay, so we can just send that off. And by the way, this is not my company. I'm just using this purely for example, randomly pulled them off the web. I have no affiliation with them. However, I have seen these guys before somewhere. I mean, I live here, but it's a big place. I don't think I've seen them personally. I think I've just seen something on the news about them or something. Two brothers or something. I forget, but they're crushing it. They're doing great. They have so many reviews online. It's nuts. Okay, we can close out this news article. So Opus 4.8. That's awesome. Okay, and we have our customer solutions pulled up too, which is awesome. So basically, I built a notebook LM to where you can find through all these Reddits what people complain about, and then I can ask you here, what are people complaining about? What's their biggest pain points, right? Because you want to dig into the pain point to then implement a solution, right? So agitate, irritate, solve. And then we have some solutions here. So it's just propose, but I really don't need this, honestly. Okay, so we have this right here is creating this infographic based off of our brand style guideline and the website. Again, this is not my website, it's just a test. And then it's going to create that source. If we look at the pain points of customers, severe mental health impacts and paranoia, I want to know though, so for these pain points that you mentioned, is this mostly coming from women or is it mostly coming from men? Let's see what it says. So this is the solutions of what the customer saw to be the best thing for them, what they were praising. That's what it was. This was the praise. So offer between treatments, free callback guaranteed. Okay, nice. Ditch aggressive sales tactics. Okay, here we go. So, home management roadmap. Why did I create a roadmap? I'm curious. Okay, I'm going to look at that in a second. Here we go. So, it did it in what appears to be our brand colors. A little bit of orange here. I know it's trying to show the pest, but not too bad. Okay, I want you to write me a prompt that keeps it really simple. Oh crap! I was put that in the wrong chat. Whoops-a-daisy. Oh wait. That was the. Oh my goodness. No wonder. Okay, that was the other one. Okay, here we go. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. That is crazy. Your home protected. The quell pest control difference. The problem, invading pest. Burden of invading pest. The safety dilemma. Okay, so I will show you something that is also really cool. That's an upgrade. That is huge. If you go to YouTube and then look for Donald Miller, and then look for his story brand, and then go to videos. He has a main video that is up. I just had it up like 2 weeks ago, maybe. Let's see if it's. It might be done. It might be just story brand. Let me see. It was an hour-long video. It was like an hour 15. Oh, this might be it right here. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Okay, so go to this video. Can you guys hear that? I'm not sure if you can hear that. Let me make sure we have the sound up. I can't check to see if we hear that because I am dependent on my waveform over here, but I'm not seeing anything, which is unfortunate. I don't think it's playing through. But we don't really need to have it playing through. But oh wait, I have the tab muted. There we go.
Your business, your brand, your products. If the way you talk about those things is confusing or even worse, uninteresting, it's costing you a ton of money. It's costing your business money. It's costing you a connection with your customers. It's costing you the ability to solve people's problems. The heart of business is just solving people's problems and having them give you a fair compensation for solving their problems.
Okay, so Donald Miller is really good. I like his stuff a lot. One of my best friends is a luxury wedding photographer, international, and he put me onto this guy. And was like, dude, this guy is so good. And so I've read his book several times, How to Build a Story Brand, and life-changing. It's so good. And for some reason, my room is getting hot now. I hope the AC turns back on. I'm just cooking now. Actually, you know what? One second, I might text my girlfriend. She's out there. I'm going to ask her if she could turn the AC down. 1 second. It's kind of my fault. I'm drinking coffee too. Can you turn the AC down? I am so hot right now. This is crazy. Actually, I'm drinking some water. Hold on a second. Man, I'm cooking. There we go. She turned it down. I'll say thank you. Real quick, 1 second. Yeah, I think I got too hot out there working outside. It was cool, and then it just got super hot. Like I'm literally sweating right now. It's crazy. All right, back to it. We don't need this. I'm gonna delete this because I don't want to get confused. Home pest. Let's get rid of the mind map. And then, what was this one? I want to make sure it's something that's not. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what I want to show you, back to the Donald Miller thing, which is so cool. So if you go to Story Brand with Donald Miller, and you go to this video specifically, it's called Master the Story Brand Framework with Donald Miller. Clarify your message in 7 steps. All right, this is really powerful because what you can do is you can copy this video, specifically this video, go back to your notebook LM, and then add this as a source, okay? And it's going to bake this into, so all of that information inside that video is now going to be inside of here, which is nuts. So now what I can do is I can say, I can say, what do I want to say? Okay, make that same infographic, but follow the story brand framework with Donald Miller. It's in the sources. Okay, so now it's going to follow that, and it's going to come back to it. So again, since we mentioned the style guide before up here, right, we could mention it again if we want to, but it should already know because we've mentioned it in this same chat thread. But if you want to be thorough and go through it, you can say follow the brand style guideline for my company, which is this one, for example, and then also follow Donald Miller's story brand work. Okay, so what it says is, I've started generating a new version of your split screen infographic. It's being created in landscape format and structured using Donald Miller's story brand framework to ensure the message is clear and compelling as possible. Here's how the story brand elements are integrated into the design based on your sources. The problem, left side. Instead of just listing bug bites as an issue, the left side will address 3 levels of customers' problems. The external problem, getting bitten by the bugs and associated with high risk. The internal problem, the frustration, annoyance, and feeling of being unsafe. And this philosophical problem, the belief that no one should have to feel uncomfortable in their own home. It's so powerful that he mentions that. The guide, transition to the right. Quell Pest Control steps in as the guide, not the hero. The infographic will use empathy, understanding the frustrations of pests and authority, highlighting highly trained technicians and local eco-friendly expertise to build trust. The plan and solution. We are including a simple path forward. The plan to the customer doesn't have to burn calories figuring out what to do. This leads into your targeted pet and kid-friendly solutions. A direct CTA following Donald Miller's advice. Excuse me. Clearly tells them to call the number and 100% off introductory offer. It's pretty good. Success versus failure. The graphic will contrast the failure, continuing to suffer from annoying and unhealthy bug bites. With success, peace of mind, allowing kids and pets to safely roam a pest-free environment. So pretty good stuff. Let's go click on that and see what that looks like. That's nuts. It's cool. I think it's a little bit much though. Like the setup is great. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete the chat because we have 2 versions now. We're going to see if we can make this better, okay? And then once you figure out what works, just reuse that over and over and over again. You don't have to rebuild it again. So it takes a couple tries to get it narrowed down. I want you to follow my brand style guideline that I've put into the sources for my company, which is the Quell Pest Control that's in the sources. And then also follow Master the Story Brand Framework with Donald Miller, which is also in the sources, to create an infographic to sell my pest control services to customers. Follow what Donald Miller has to say for my brand, and then do the style in the brand style guideline for this infographic. Okay, we swerved a little bit on that prompt, but we got back on track.
Listen, the way most
Can I watch people's videos while I'm streaming?
people talk about their businesses, it isn't
Maybe
working.
as long as I'm like chatty and I talk a lot.
Most sales professionals, most companies, their marketing dollars, their sales pitches, what they do is they fail to invite their customers into a story, and that is what most of us here are doing. If I go to your website, I cannot tell what problem you solve. I cannot tell how that product is going to solve that problem. You've positioned yourself as the hero. You're talking about a bunch of stuff I don't care about. You've gotten yourself out of my story rather than entering into my story. You're making a lot of mistakes. And so listen, by the end of the next hour, I want to give you a framework in which you are going to come up with 7 extremely effective sound bites. And when you use those 7 sound bites, you're going to invite customers into a story in which they use your product to win the day in their life. You are going to enter their story as a guide, and you are going to help the hero win.
Yeah, it's super big. By the way, I'm going to film school, so it's what he's saying is the same thing with writing. It's called 3-act classical narrative structure. So for writing like movies and films and TV shows and anything really, you have to follow, like, you don't have to, but you follow a structured setup for telling a story, and that's essentially what he's doing. It's just a framework, and he's doing the same thing, but for commercial purposes, which I don't see a lot of people doing. Okay, we're still waiting on this.
This, to me, is the key to phenomenal growth in your business. If you have a great product and you have really good people and you've got really great procedures to sell those products, but you're capped, you're stalled, you need the fourth P. The fourth P is positioning. How have you positioned your product in the marketplace so that people understand why they need it? Are the words you are using giving value to the products that you sell? Here's the reality. People buy products after they hear or read words that make them want to buy those products. It's all about the words. Now think about the last thing that you bought on, say, Amazon.com. Probably almost everybody watching this has bought something in the last week. I bought something today on Amazon. I had to buy a little an RCA connector to go and do a headphone jack. And what I did was I went, they had 25 different versions of it. I read a review of the one, I checked the price. Amazon said overall pick, and so I bought it. Now notice, I read the review, I read the price, I read the words overall pick, and I bought it. It was the words that I read that made me want to buy it. When we think about branding, we often think about our color scheme, our logo, our tagline, things like that. I promise you, it's the words that you use. In fact, Amazon.com, everybody here has bought something on Amazon probably today, if not this week. That is an ugly website with ugly colors. So we've just proven that it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, website, actually, he's right. Amazon is kind of cluttered up too. And I don't know, can I watch these videos while I'm live streaming? I don't know. Can I do that? Like, do I have to be chatty and just talk and just be annoying to where, like, later in a clip, somebody's like, would they please shut up so I can hear what the video says? Okay, so I'm going to go back to that in a second because I'm actually really intrigued. I really, really like Donald Miller stuff. But going back to the infographic that we had our Notebook LM generate using this same video, let's see what it looks like. Okay. It's kind of crazy that AI can do this now. I'm blown away every single time because this would have taken so much work to do before. Okay, so we have our demo company. We're pretending like it's, it's our company in this demo here. And then let's see. So we have their colors, right? The safety dilemma. Homeowners often worry that the cure is worse than the problem, fearing that harsh chemicals might harm their children or pets. Okay, that's a pain point, sure. The problem, your safe space under attack. Your home should be, sometimes it messes up words and you have to redo it, which is fun. But invading pests create stress and compromise the comfort of your living environments. The safety dilemma. Homeowners often what? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's fine. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to tell all this real quick. I'm going to clarify. Okay, I want you to make this same infographic, but I want you to make it a lot more simple and more to the point. This is something that I'm going to hand to my customer as like an infographic. So I'm basically educating them on pest control and how to keep their home, safe and clean from pests, and then also positioning myself to be the solution to their problems. So follow my brand style guidelines for my company using Donald Miller's framework. Okay, awesome.
Beautiful in order for you to make money, in order for you to do well in business. It's the words that you use. So I want to introduce you to a framework that is going to help you use short, simple, repeatable sound bites in order to take market share in whatever it is that you do. It doesn't matter if you're business to business. It doesn't matter if you're business to consumer. It doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit. The words that you will use, will help your business grow. All right, before we get into the framework, let me explain why the Story Brand framework works so well. Building a Story Brand sold over 1 million copies. The new version, Building a Story Brand 2.0, came out into the world. It's doing very well, but that many people have bought that.
Okay, they just came back. Let's see. What are you talking about? I want you to make this infographic.
Oh, excuse
me. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was gonna say if it makes this infographic. So we're making progress. Yeah, we're making progress. I mean, it's got our colors right. I'm not sure that if I'm being the most clear. You know what is best when you okay, I gotta back up here. What is best is when I find that I am going off track, or I can't figure out like what I want exactly. Like I know I want something, but I can't figure out like how to say it. You can just go to Google, not Google Maps. You can just go pest control info pamphlets. Let's just pull this up, for example. It might take us a couple of searches to figure out what we want to hear. Okay. Wow, that is so creepy. That is so creepy to see a bug like that up close. I think it's fascinating when it's like a ladybug or something, but man, like an ant, that's just disgusting. Okay, here's an infographic. Stop cockroaches. Okay, that's an interesting one. That's probably the best one I've seen so far. There's a lot of depth to it, but it's clear. Pest control infographic. Okay. So stay with me here, because I promise this is going to be worth it here. So basically, you find an infographic that you like, right? That you want. You're like, okay, this is what I want. I want to hand this to a customer to educate them, and then also to be, as Donald Miller says, the God in their story, so that they can be the hero. So you're going to provide a solution. And I'm going to go back, and let's just choose. Well, I don't want to choose that one. This one's too much. This one's too generic. It just doesn't look like we need something that's this pest control infographic. Oh, that's just a placeholder template one. That's great, but I think the one I like the most, let's just stay really specific. Let's just stay really specific, and let's do the cockroaches one. Okay. So all I'm going to do is you can screenshot this or save the image, which it's going to save it as a PNG, which is great. So I can go to my downloads and I can save it. And then what you can do is go to Gemini and then take that you just downloaded, that image. I want you to extract from this infographic, this picture, a comprehensive and extremely detailed prompt that I can then use later to regenerate the image, but with my customizations. Okay, let's see if it does it. Sometimes Gemini is like, hey, let me just generate you an image real quick, which is not what we want, but okay, here we go. Yeah, it's doing it. Awesome. An educational vector graphic. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what we can do is we can copy this. So again, we went and took that image, we extracted the prompt from it. So we're reverse prompting it. And then we can go here, and I'm going to delete this chat. And I'm just going to say, I want you to follow my brand style guideline for my pest control company using Donald Miller's story brand framework. And then we're just going to paste this below it. And then let's just fire that off. Notebook LM does have a limit on how much you can put into the chat at once. I'm not sure how many characters it is, but you will find that sometimes you'll max it out and you have to go back to the AI and tell it to shorten it up a little bit so it'll fit in here. Okay, let's see what he says.
Because that book helped them come up with
I haven't read the 2.0 book,
that grew
but
their
the first one's really
good. We've heard 10x, we've heard 100x increase in sales when people started using the right words. So we want to use the right words. Now, why does the framework work? Why are people so attracted to the right words? Well, here's why. There's two things that the human brain is always trying to do. The first thing that the human brain is always trying to do is survive and thrive. That is the job of the human brain. It is to survive and thrive. Your job, your brain's job, is to keep you alive and keep you on the planet. When you go to cross the street, your brain says, look left and right, because a bus could be coming, right? Well, all the time, your brain is scanning the environment for threats, and it's trying to mitigate.
Interesting. Again, I'm kind of nervous watching this video on stream because I'm like, what if I get like pinged or something, or get this video taken down because I'm not supposed to do it. I don't know the rules. I don't know how it works. So maybe I think I've seen people do shorts and they just chat the whole time, which is obnoxious. But I guess it's the game you got to play. Okay. Yeah, it's probably the best one I've seen so far. This one's pretty cool. Yeah, so you could go, we'll go ahead and just pull up Vistaprint. I don't need that. I don't need that. We don't really need these right now. We can go back to that. Okay. All right, so we have Vistaprint, and we can just look up pamphlet. Okay, so no, these are the flyer holders. We don't want that. Posture check. Door hangers. Okay, that's cool. Don't really see a lot of people doing door hangers anymore. Trifold brochures. Honestly, I'm more of a fan of rack cards. I think that rack cards are better because it's less to print on and is more concise. So we have rack cards here. And let's go back here to see what we got. Okay, here's the infographic. It's generating it. Stop cockroaches. The problem, what's feeding the I'm tripping up here. The problem, what's feeding the infestation? Don't leave dishes out. Dirty dishes and the sink provide an easy water and food source that attract cockroaches overnight. Okay, don't let them in. Don't let trash and recycling build up. Yes, don't forget the cracks and crevices. Don't feed them. Don't use sprays or bug bombs. And can see some of these words are messed up. Who was your necessary chemicals into your home? Okay, the God. Okay, so we got to clarify. We can go tell it right now that we don't want it to actually say the stakes. We don't want it to actually say the God, because it's literally taking his framework and then putting it in there. So we just have to tell it that. So the plan, your path to a pest-free home. The plan is fine because that's like a CTA. Like when I hear the words the plan, it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Request your appointment, receive targeted treatments, enjoy unlimited free services. Okay, quell pest control. Awesome. Okay, let's just tell it this. Okay, I don't want you to literally say the framework inside of the infographic. That is just there for you to build it in. And I want you to double check the wording to make sure that the words are perfect and correct. Be comprehensive and exhaustive, please. Okay, but it is cool though that we were able to create the brand style guideline from the website, and the website is these colors here. And then we were able to take Donald Miller's framework and then bake that into an infographic, which is freaking awesome. But again, it takes some iteration to get these things perfect because it is AI, and it's only going to get better from here, but not bad for something that you can you can generate completely for free. That's super cool. Okay, while we're waiting, I want to continue to watch Donald Miller.
Navigate those threats and navigate the world in such a way that you stay alive first. Now, in a first world country, we have food and shelter, we have all that kind of stuff. So your brain moves to more sophisticated realms in terms of survival. It'll look for people to associate with. It'll look for products that give me more comfort, peace of mind. I'm looking for better sleep. I'm looking for better health. I'm looking for better connection with my children. I'm looking for a better marriage. I'm looking for really good friends. I'm looking for things that deal with my emotional health, my psychological health, my physical health, much higher levels of survival. But your brain is always looking for the next level of survival. Always. That is the job of the human brain. Now, why do you need to know that to stay in business? This is why. The only reason people buy things is to survive. to somehow increase their chance of survival. Again, in a first world country, it's not all about living and staying alive. It's about thriving and having more resources in order to stay alive, in order to mitigate threats or defend myself against threats. And so what you have to do in order to sell your products, this is very, very, very important, associate your product with the survival of your customer. Associate your product with the survival of your customer. We're going to talk about how to nuance that and get into it. No matter what you sell.
Interesting. I'm actually really impressed that he's doing this live. Talking live like this in front of a camera is very difficult. Okay, so it's still generating. It looks like rat cards. We looked at this yesterday. Rat cards 500 is 23 cents a unit for $114.99. But that's just one-sided, I think. I don't think that's two-sided. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. I think rat card's the way to go. That's awesome. Okay. Now I'm getting sleepy.
Later in this hour. Now, the second thing that the human brain is always trying to do after you help people survive and thrive, the second thing that the human brain is always trying to do is conserve calories. Your brain does not want to spend a lot of calories thinking. In fact, your brain really doesn't want to think at all, and here's why. You burn between 600 and 800 calories a day just processing the information out in the world. Just taking in information saying, should I turn left and right? Where am I going? And I got to enter this in the GPS, and I don't like this radio station. I want to listen to this. And, oh, I got a call from my daughter. I got to remember to go by the bakery on the way home. 600 to 800 calories just processing the day. So you don't have a whole lot of time to think about anything, and your brain says, you know what? So much information is being thrown at us. So many people want our attention. Over 5,000 commercial messages a day are being thrown at the average American. That's incredible. So tons and tons of calories. And when you think about this, when you think about this, when you think about this, so a brain that needs to survive is going to say one thing. I need to know what to think about and what not to think about. And so automatically you have a filter. It's a subconscious filter in your brain that says, I want you to think about this. I don't want you to think about that. Now, hear me out. If you did not have this filter, your life would be entirely and completely unmanageable. What do I mean by that? You would have walked into a Starbucks this morning, you would have picked up a pound of coffee, and you would have said, this is kind of interesting. It feels like metal, but it moves around with the texture of paper. And look, I think it may be glued on the top. That's a glue seal. No, maybe that's a stitch seal. I don't know. Oh, it's got these metal things. Oh, if you put them up, they kind of look like a cat. I wonder if this was shipped on a boat from somewhere. I wonder. You would be thinking about things that you don't need to think about. But instead, that is not how you walked into Starbucks. You walked into Starbucks, you avoided the coffee because you don't need that, and you walked up to the counter, you placed an order, you waited till they called your name, and you went up to the cup with your misspelled name on it. You walked out the door, and you got some caffeine, which you need to give you a boost of mental focus so you could go to work and make money that day. In other words, of all the things that you could pay attention to in Starbucks, you paid attention to only the things that help you survive.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so stop cockroaches, infographic tips. Yeah, okay, so this is much better. This is awesome. This is great. Okay, so don't leave dishes out. Don't let them in. Don't let trash and recycling build up. Yeah, okay. And then we have our company, not my company. Again, this is a demo. Randomly pull them up. Don't know who they are. Their colors, the blue and the green. And then we have the solution down here. And then we have the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. And then we have the $100 off. I think that's one of the offers they have in their website is $100 off somewhere. Oh, yeah, right there, right in front of my face. And then we have their phone number. And their license number is cool. And then keeping you pest free with targeted solutions. And I think that's their slogan. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's incredible that you could generate this for free. And then you could print this out onto a rat card. And then you can hand it to your customers, especially the chatty ones who have a lot of questions. And you can solve those little bitty problems in their head to help solve a bigger problem, which is to have peace of mind that they don't have bugs in their house. That's awesome. Okay, I want to watch a little bit more of the Donald Miller. I'm like really fascinated by
So you see what I'm getting at.
what he's saying.
If I go to your website, if I go to your landing page, if you send me a text message, if you email me, if you're giving a keynote presentation at a workshop, if you're doing a live stream or a webinar, if you're talking to somebody on the phone as a sales rep trying to sell your product, the people that you're talking to are wondering one thing and one thing alone: how will you help me survive? And that's it. And you need to answer that question fast. When you do, you will find that people lean in. Tell me more about that. Wait, hold on. You said that this could actually, remove the wrinkles from around my eyes, making me look younger and more vibrant so that people are more drawn to me, which is it's a way that I can survive better? Oh, that's amazing. Wait, you said that I could get better sleep and be able to focus better and be a better parent and be less moody? Better sleep sounds good. That could help me survive. But that's not how most of us talk. When we talk about our businesses, that's not what we do. When people say, what do? We say, well, it's complicated. Wait, think about
I've done
what you
that like
just
1,000
said.
times.
Well, it's complicated. You know what you might as well have told me? Well, you're going to have to burn a ton of calories to understand what I'm about to say. And by the way, you don't even know if it's connected to your survival or not. So why don't you give me 200 of those calories that you don't want to use today, so that I can say a bunch of gibberish about how my grandmother started this company 75 years ago? No, not interested.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Actually, so using AI to help with this is something that I'm working on, because I was talking to Qasim, and Qasim has a great pitch, and I was like, hey, who could help me with like my pitch, right, to get my pitch very clear? And he said it was Jason Fladlin. So I took Jason Fladlin's top videos that I found on his YouTube page, and I put them into a notebook LM. And then I have him here, and now I can go through a quiz or a flashcard. You see, I did it 5 days ago. And I can go through and quiz myself and learn the process of making a better pitch, right? So when people ask me that same question, I don't say it's complicated. I can answer them like that. I think that's super important, and it's something that not a lot of us do, unfortunately. I also made one more notebook LM as well that goes with Ryan Dees. I think it's Dees. Same thing, but his is more like positioning for yourself too. So that's really cool. And again, Donald Miller is like, this guy is so freaking good. Like I said, my friend Sam is an international wedding photographer, luxury international wedding photographer, and he put me on to Donald Miller. And so anyways, you can take that video, this video we're watching right now, right here, and then you can upload it into a notebook LM, and then you can chat with it, and then you can create flashcards, and you can go through and quiz yourself on like, what's he talking about, so you can learn it and get better and better and better. It's crazy. It's a crazy time that we live in, and you can do this for free, which is nuts. And so for that infographic that we just made right here as well, we uploaded the website. We built the brand style guideline from that using this program really easily, and then we uploaded his framework so the AI could pull from all of this. So when we made the infographic, it looks like this, which is nuts. That is freaking crazy. Okay, I'm going to end the stream now, because I'm a little bit nervous that I am watching this video and I might get in trouble because I'm not really talking much. I don't really like the videos that when you pull up and somebody's like really interesting, and then the guy is like pausing every 5 seconds. He's like, that's actually really interesting. I think that's really cool. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I want to hear what that person has to say. But I get it, because you don't want to just, I could just stream and watch this guy all day long and then take credit or the gains from all of his good information. So I don't want to do that either. But I am very intrigued by what Donald Miller says. So I do recommend his book. I've read it 3 times. I haven't read the 2.0. I read his first one, but I'm sure the 2.0 is even better. And so, yeah, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you. Today is Thursday. So I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. MST. And I will see you then. Okay. Peace, everyone. Appreciate it. Bye now.